Hi everyone, welcome to part 3 of this tutorial. In this video I will show you step by step how to incorporate multiple characters into one consistent environment using Seedance 2.0 and Kling 3.0. It has been a pretty exciting week for us in the US with the release of Seedance 2, and I've got the chance to start working with it for my Hearthstone cinematic. I will also show you some of the best platform that you can use to access it right now, how to prompt efficiently, and we will go through some of the mistakes that I've made while experimenting so that you can avoid doing the same. My main focus point for this video was to introduce new, complex characters into the arena and having them fight with each other while keeping a fluid, fast-paced action sequence within the environment that I've designed. So first, let's take a look at the full cinematic from the beginning.
Permission to speak. I will protect the Alliance. Will serve me in death.
The light shall burn you.
Falls over these lands. You shall know my cruelty firsthand. Dalar Sulan Drakon! Make no mistakes.
So the first thing that I normally do is to isolate all of my characters and place them in front of a plain white background. I need 2 images for each, one simple full body and one covering all 4 angles, front, back, left profile, and right profile. And that is precisely what I prompt into Nano Banana to get those results. Let me show you some of the characters that will enter the arena next that I have yet to animate. Some of those are really cool, and I can't wait to work on it. You see, when I asked the AI to generate those, I have asked it to place them in a snowy landscape, so that when I place them into my own arena, the aesthetic makes sense with the ice and snow on their clothes. These are small details that help a lot with consistency. Next, I generated some starting images using the backgrounds that I have locked in for each corners of the arena in the previous video. This is still the workflow using Kling. It gives you more control over the scene, but I will show you later how Seedance completely revolutionized this workflow. The first thing that I did in the second part of the video is starting from this image of Anduin standing on his side of the arena. At this point, the music is ramping up and I have to start matching the video with it, which means characters need to spawn and start fighting. The first on my list is the Spirit of Kaldore. I animated it using Kling 3. I first asked Gemini to write me a detailed prompt for the character coming out of a portal. It gave me a very long, detailed prompt. It usually does a good job at it, and I recommend you to do the same to develop sophisticated prompting, especially with Seedance. Then with the same prompt and some fine-tuning, I generated a couple more. I usually like to generate 2 to 3 clips for each scene, so that I can pick the best one and use some segments of each videos for B-roll and stitch it together in CapCut. Here was the third one. Not really good, but it gave me that portal snap at the end that I needed, and I ended up using it in the final video. Next, it's time for the Lich King to spawn his first character. So for this, I wanted him to first lift his sword in the air, then plant it into the ground, which would crack the ice in front of him from which dragon would come out. Not quite what I was expecting, but I can use some parts of this clip. Notice how the background stays consistent in relation to the arena I've designed. That's what matters the most to me. After generating a couple more and stitching it into CapCut, this is what I was able to get.
The final darkness falls over these lands. Shall know my cruelty firsthand.
And for those that are wondering how I made the voice for the Lich King, I simply recorded its original voice lines from the game itself. Then for the purple slime dragon, I used those 2 images as first frame and last frame so that I could ensure a smooth continuity during the transition from the close-up on his face to the wider shot facing the Spirit of Kaldore. And this is what it looks like. Next, working on the golem. I need it to lip in the air coming from behind the cave on the west side of the arena. And this is kind of what it did there, so I kept it. I did this for every character, basically. Brainstorm with Gemini for the optimized prompt to animate the characters, use a starting frame with the proper background, add the entire arena as an element into Kling, generate a couple videos that I can stick together and repeat. Now, onto the more interesting part. I wanted this character to come into the arena, punching his way out of the ice wall with an explosion of ice, exposing a tunnel entrance behind him. So for that, I would need to get a new updated ice wall background because the north side of the arena will be then forever changed. So I created this image with Nano Banana simply by asking to make it seem as if an ogre had just punched his way out of the ice wall, revealing the tunnel entrance. Then I used Kling to animate the action, simply by using the ogre figure in the north ice wall as a reference. Same thing here, I have generate 3 different clips that I could choose from and mix together while editing it into CapCut. For the next few scenes, I decided to try Seedance 2, which I had just got my hands on, and here's the mistake I made. This clip was not too bad, but it was too slow for my test. I was expecting something a lot more dynamic coming out of Seedance 2. And you see in these documents, I have added a lot of image references and a very detailed prompt of what we should exactly see in each background as the camera rotate. But that was too much information. I tried to control the action too much. I have tried generating a few times until I get perfectly what I wanted, but never really got it. Although I do appreciate the fact that it correctly registered my new ice wall with the tunnel entrance from the ogre explosion, and I was able to place the Lich King where he should be in the background as the camera orbited. So this is when I came back with a brand new way to approach it. I logged into Kinovi.ai, which, by the way, is a great platform for Seedance 2 right now in the US. Generations are high quality and super fast, only 2-3 minutes for a 10-15 seconds clip. You can get all the way to 22,000 credits for $114, which gives you tons of room to experiment. A Seedance 2 Pro video for 10 seconds is 400 credits, and 15 seconds 600 credits. They also have a face shield option to make it easier to upload and work with human faces. Anyway, this is where I found my workflow with Seedance, and all I did was uploading my orbital shot of the arena as a reference image, then a character sheet for each character as a reference image, and copy-paste my fighting scene prompt. To get the fighting scene prompt, I asked Gemini to look at the 2 latest referenced images. Can you give me the prompts for an epic fight Hollywood style between the 2? the humanoid soldier of Onyxia versus the ethereal entity. The soldier of Onyxia wins the fight. It is a prompt for Seedance, focus on the movements, the action, and the camera movements for a fluid, ultra-high budget fight sequence. Don't waste time on the description of the characters, since I have them as elements. And it basically gave me this large and detailed prompt that I just copy-pasted into Seedance 2's model. And as you can see in the results, it almost recreated perfectly the entire arena. Or at least it's not too far off. But I really like the speed and dynamic of the action. This is what I had in mind. I'm really happy to see those characters come to life. This will be all for this tutorial. If you haven't checked the previous one on character and environment consistency, don't hesitate to watch it. There are some very useful tips. In the next tutorial, I will focus on extending Seedance 2's 15 seconds clips into longer clips as well as upscaling to 4K. So until then, keep an eye out and take care.